Hi guys, I'm super excited today to be bringing you a video that shows you how I use scrap wood to create beautiful home decor DIYs. I have tons of it left over and I needed to use it up, and I came up with these three ideas that I think are going to look great inside or outside for your decor. For this first one, I have this piece of, I think it's chipboard, but I'm not 100% sure. I used the other half to create a menu for my kitchen, and now I'm going to create a home sign. So I had used a stencil paper from Cricut to cut out a stencil that says home, but I am not using the O in it. This stencil was a little bit tricky to take apart, but it worked really well once I was painting. None of the paint leaked through. For the O, I used some of Dollar Tree paper, the vinyl paper that the Dollar Tree sells, and in a color green. And I cut out a wreath, kind of like a boxwood wreath with my Cricut. I transferred that using a clear shelf liner from Dollar Tree. I had stocked up just before shutdown, so I have plenty of them on hand to use. One thing that I'm not a huge fan when using a Cricut is the weeding part. I struggle with it quite a bit, but it is getting better. I do know it's me, just practice makes perfect, and I just have to do more practicing. I'm so excited. I just got the Easy Press for Mother's Day, and I can't wait to start using it for all sorts of different DIYs. So make sure if you like Cricut type of DIYs, make sure you tune in for that, because I am, like I said, very excited to start using it. So when I was deciding to trying to figure out what to make out of this piece of wood, I knew I wanted to make a sign. I just wasn't sure which direction I wanted to take it. I am quite blown away with all sorts of different home signs out there on Pinterest. There are so many wonderful and great ideas from, like I said, like I'm using Cricut machine to cut this out, but you can totally freehand it. I've done many signs where I freehand stuff. You don't necessarily need to have the Cricut. I just thought this might be a bit easier, but as you can see with me transferring, I don't know how much easier it actually is. Do you guys enjoy wood, scrap wood DIYs, or wood, any type of wood DIYs? I love making signs. That's one of the things I absolutely love. And I love reusing materials that I have at home because it just prevents them from going into garbage, and I actually get to make something beautiful out of them. Once all the stencils were in place where I wanted them to be, I proceeded on painting it. I'm just using a sponge paint and dabbing the paint on, and I'm using some Annie Sloan old white chalk paint. I always find that dabbing the paint instead of brushing it on works much better when stenciling. And as you can see, there was very little to no leakage once I removed the stencils. Now, since I wanted this to be a planter holder home sign type of thing, I am building a box for the bottom, and I'm just using hot glue simply because I was all out of wood glue, and it's just so complicated to get wood glue right now. So I know I could order it and all that stuff, but I had hot glue, so I'm just using that. If I find that it's not holding it as good as I would like it to, I am just, I can always, as you can see, take it apart and either screw it or do the hot glue. So because it's gonna be a planter box, but it's not gonna be a box that I'm going to put dirt in and stuff. I'm going to actually just put a planter inside of it with some plants. I am not putting a bottom to it or making it waterproof or anything like that, because it's gonna sit in its own planter. And depending on where I put it, I will most likely either have a fake plants on it, or if it's inside, and if it's outside, then I'll have a real plant in it probably. Before, when doing the back part, because I'm going to be sitting the sign on top of it, you want it to be, that piece of wood to be leveled, so that way your sign's not crooked. I added extra piece of wood just for a little bit more support at the back. There's a couple options for the planter box. You can paint it, stain it, or leave it as is. I am painting it with graphite chalk paint. I'd like to mention, if this is your first time stopping by, I would love it if you considered subscribing and becoming part of my YouTube family. I'm very glad that you've decided to watch this video, and I hope that you stick around. And don't forget to press the notification bell so you get notified when all of my new videos become live or upload. To finish the project, the wood box off, I have cut out some ferns with my Cricut machine, as well as letter B, and established 2001. It's just when my husband and I got married. And the letter B stands for the first letter of our last name. I just love the way this turned out. For my next project, I am using 3 pieces of wood, and I am just, they're scrap pieces of wood, and they're different size, and I just stacked them on top of each other using wood glue. And then I'm going to paint them with a mixture of this green paint and a little bit of white chalk paint because I wanted to create a lighter color of green. So as you can see, I am making a stack of books. I do love decorating with stack of books and my tier trays, or just a little piece of decor sitting on top of a fireplace. This is fairly small, so it'll probably look good on my on one of my tier trays, which that video is coming up on Wednesday. It's over on my home channel. I will be decorating all of my tier trays for the summer. So if you enjoy tier tray decor, make sure you head on over to my home channel to check that out. I love decorating tier trays. Once it was done, painted and dried, I decided I wanted to do some writing. Now it was fairly small, the space, and I've tried with these. I always try these markers and they never work, and it was a little too small for the chalk marker as well. So I ended up giving my hand at trying my hand out at painting the words on, just to see how that would look. And I can't say I am extremely pleased with the way it turned out, but I don't think it looks too bad either. For the flowers, I'm also adding just a little dots of yellow right in the middle of the petals. And my camera ended up dying without me realizing it, and I have added just a piece of rope to the top. This last project that I'm working on, I got these pieces of wood in a bag of kindling that in the firewood order that we made, and I thought they would be great to make something out of them because they were pretty nice looking. So I have 4 long ones, and then I have cut 2 of them into the smaller pieces just to make a border around, and then I have 1 flat piece that will be my bottom. And this is how I'm going to glue them on. I do not have measurements because it doesn't really matter what the measurements are. If you have pieces of wood, you can make your lanterns as big as you want. You just have to measure the inside, because I'm making a little border on the inside, so I had cut ones to fit inside, and then I also cut ones on top to make a border on top. And like I said, I'm using hot glue. Now I did not paint these or stain them. You totally could. You could also just put some weather stripping on, like a weather resistant stain on, which is what I'm thinking I might do. I do not have any on hand at the moment, but I really like the way how rustic these look just as they are, and I am planning on using them on my deck. So once the stores open up, I will most likely go and get just a clear coat to put on for weather resisting, so in case if it rains, so it doesn't fall apart. I will probably end up screwing these as well at that time just to keep them a little bit in place. But if I was using them on the inside, I probably would not be doing any of that. I would just leave them as they are. So once I was done with completely assembling them, I end up adding a piece of rope to the top as well. I just love how rustic these lanterns look, and I think they're gonna look great with the little tea light candles from with citronella candles on top of my little side table on my deck. I hope you have enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up. If you think somebody would like this video as well, make sure you share it. And don't forget to press that subscribe button if you're not. And I would like to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye.
My teardrops start to dry. Even when the sun begins to shine again, taking all the advice there is enough.